In the previous part, we discussed variables where you can store a single piece of data. Now, imagine if you want to save multiple pieces of data, you cannot create variable for each of them. Instead of saving each of them in a separate variable, we use an array. Arrays are like boxes that hold multiple items in one place. You can add multiple items inside it. You can even put arrays inside other arrays to create more complex structures. You can access each item by its index, which starts from 0, or you can give each item a name, which we call keys. You can also sort an array, remove item, or add new items whenever you need. Now, let's see how we can make and use arrays in PHP. So to create an array, we will type $, then array name same as variable, after that equal square brackets. Now our array is ready. We can add the items of array inside these square brackets. So for example, I will type the car names BMW, Audi, and Tesla. Now to access these items inside array, you can type echo, then the array name, and in the square bracket the index of that item. So the index is the position of the item. Now for example, in here my first item is BMW. If I type here 1, I will get Audi. The reason is because the index starts from 0. So this will be 0, then 1, then 2. So right now, if I type 0, I will get BMW. If I type doors and car 1, the position, it will show me the Audi. And if I type here echo $car 2, I will get Tesla. So I got all my items inside the array. But if you want to add a new item inside this array, for that you will just type the array name, then the square brackets, and after that your new item. So for example, Mercedes. Now in if I type here echo $car and pass third index, I will get Mercedes in here. You can also count how many items are inside an array by typing echo count function, then pass your array as a parameter. So we will say the assigned car. Now, okay, let's add a BR here as well. Okay. Now I got 4. If we count 1, 2, 3, and we added one item in here, that's why we got 4. In here, one thing, if you guys have noticed, if I want to access all the items inside this array, I have to type echo for all the items to output all of them. And instead of that, we can use a loop to access all the items inside the array. So we can type for $I is equal to 0, then $I until it's smaller than the count of our array. It should increment our $I by 1. Now inside this loop, we can access all our array items. So if I type here echo $car, and inside this square bracket, if I type our variable, it will display all my items. So in here we got, so let's comment other echoes and also append a BR to break. Okay, now I got all items inside the array. If I add one more in here, so let's add one more item inside our array. Let's call it new car. Now in here I got my new car as well. So to access all your array items, we have to use a loop, and in that condition we have to count the number of items inside our array. So this is how you can create an index array. Now let's see how we can create an associative array. So right now, as I said, to access these items, we have to know their index. But we can also give these items a name as well. So for example, let's comment all of them. And in here, let's create a new array. So let's call this one students. And in the student array, I will pass a key and a value. The key is the name of that value. So I will type the name of student, then arrow, and then I will pass the value. So for example, Ali, then comma, after that the age, again arrow, pass the age, and finally the grade will be A. Now this is an associative array which have a name and a value. We can access this array by typing the name of that key. So for example, if I type here echo $student, then inside this square bracket, I just have to pass the name. So for example, if I want to access the name in here, I will just type name. Now I got Ali. And if I change it to age, I will get 20. And same for the grade. I got A. Arrays can also contain other arrays. These are called multidimensional arrays. So for example, let's comment this out. You can create an array which contains another arrays. So if I type students in here, inside this array, I can add multiple arrays as well. So will create in here, I will type the name Ali, then I pass the age, and finally the grade, which is A. To create another array inside this, I will just hit enter and type my array directly. So Sarah 21 and the grade is B. Let's add one more. So John age 22 and grade A plus. Now this is called multi-dimensional array because it contains array inside an array. Now to access an item inside a multi-dimensional array, you can type echo, then your array name, then square brackets. Now, which item you want to access? For example, this one. So the location of this is inside our, first we will go inside our main array, which is 0, 1, 2. So we will come and pick this one. This is in the second index. So we will type 2. Then we want to access this, and the index of this is 0, 1, 2. 2 also. So in here we will type 2. Now in here I got A plus. Let's do one more example and access another item. So this time let's access this item. So the index of its array is 0, 1. So in here we will type 1. Then I want to access this one, or okay, let's access this one. So the index of this one is 0, 1, and 2. So in here I will type 2. Now I got B in here. So let's add a BR as well. Now I got A plus and B. So this is how you can access an item inside an associative array. Now, if you want to access all the items inside this loop, let's see how we can do that. So let's comment all of them. So first of all, our item is two-dimensional array. So we have to create two loops. One for our main array to access all these items and one for these items. So let's create our first loop. So let's type 4 and our variable set it to 0, and we want to run this loop until it's smaller than the count of our elements. So let's pass our main array in here, and after each loop increment our I by 1. Now we are inside our main array. Now we have to go inside each of these arrays. So for that we also have to create one more loop. So let's type for $j is equal to 0. Do this until j is smaller than count of $student. And in here, now that we are inside that main loop, we have to pass the index of these. So in here I will just say $I and increment it by 1. Now we have access to all these items inside our multidimensional array. So we can type in here echo $student. We have to do exactly same logic that we did in here. So let's copy this and paste it in here. Now for the one, I will pass I because the index belongs to my main array. So instead of 1, I will just type $I, and instead of 2, I will pass $j because this 2 belongs to my inner array. So $j. Now colon. Now I got all my items. So all of them are in single line. Let's add a break here. Okay, now I got all my items. So if I want, I can add one more echo in here as well, so it looks better. Okay, now I got all the items inside my array. Ali, Ali, age 20, grade A, Sarah 21, B, John 22, A plus. So this is how you can access all items inside your multidimensional array.